For decades, it was buried in silence, a dark chapter in American history that many never learned about. In 1921, a thriving black community known as Greenwood, often called Black Wall Street, was burned to the ground in one of the worst acts of racial violence in U.S. history. Hundreds were killed, thousands were left homeless, and for nearly a century, the story was erased from history books. What really happened in Tulsa? And why was this tragedy covered up for so long? In the early 1900s, Greenwood, Tulsa was one of the most prosperous black communities in America. At a time when segregation and racism were widespread, Greenwood stood as a symbol of black excellence and economic success. Doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, black families built their own success in this community, despite the barriers of Jim Crow laws. By 1921, Greenwood had over 10,000 black residents, hundreds of thriving businesses, and was considered one of the wealthiest black communities in the nation. But that success, it made Greenwood a target. It all started with a single encounter between a young black man named Dick Rowland and a white woman named Sarah Page. On May 30th, 1921, Rowland entered an elevator in a downtown building where Page worked as an operator. Something happened. To this day, no one knows exactly what. Some say he tripped and accidentally grabbed her arm. Others say she screamed out of fear. But within hours, newspapers falsely reported that Rowland had assaulted her. A white mob formed outside the courthouse, demanding that Rowland be lynched. Black residents, some of them World War I veterans, stood guard, determined to protect him. Tensions escalated. A shot was fired. And within minutes, Tulsa exploded into chaos. For the next 18 hours, Greenwood became a war zone. White mobs stormed into the district, setting fire to homes, businesses, and churches. Armed rioters shot black residents on sight. Planes flew overhead, dropping incendiary bombs on buildings. Eyewitnesses described bodies lying in the streets, homes looted, and entire blocks reduced to ash. By the morning of June 1st, 1921, Greenwood was completely destroyed. More than 300 black residents were killed. Over 1,200 homes and businesses were burned to the ground, and thousands were left homeless. But the worst part? The survivors received no justice. Not a single person was held accountable. Insurance companies refused to pay black families for their losses. Survivors were left to rebuild from nothing. And then, the story disappeared. For decades, the Tulsa Race Massacre was erased from American history books. Many survivors were too afraid to speak out. It wasn't until the 1990s that researchers uncovered the mass graves, government records, and eyewitness testimonies that proved what had happened. Today, Tulsa is finally acknowledging its painful past. The site of Greenwood has been recognized, and efforts are being made to honor the victims and rebuild the legacy of Black Wall Street. But the Tulsa Race Massacre isn't just history. It's a reminder of how stories can be erased, how justice can be denied, and how communities must fight to reclaim their past. Remembering Tulsa means learning from history, acknowledging the truth, and ensuring that something like this never happens again. Did you know about the Tulsa Race Massacre before today? Why do you think it was hidden for so long? Let's discuss in the comments. If you believe history like this needs to be remembered, hit like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can learn the truth. Because some stories must never be forgotten.